So this will be debated now tomorrow night in the Dáil, and it's, we're at the minute we're seeing workers have never worked so hard and struggled so much, and they're under sustained and growing pressure. So we've seen the rising costs. They're eroding wages. Like, as soon as people are paid, their wages are gone with the rising costs, or in some cases they're going into debt. The living standards are being squeezed, and far too many people are stuck in low paid, insecure work without decent conditions. So if you have proper collective bargaining, you could go for, like, in some cases we have the minimum wage for some people, but it's a living wage that's needed now, because the minimum wage may still be below the standards of what a living wage would be.
And I suppose, look, a lot of people might be looking at this and wondering, look, trade unions already exist in most places. Collective bargaining is already a tactic that's available to them. Why do we need a Dáil motion to, I suppose, copper fasten this or to enhance this? How is a Dáil motion going to enhance these rights in any way?
Well, we're seeing at the minute, according to the Working in Ireland survey in 2026, 44% of workers in Ireland are not currently in a union but would like to join one. So that's a concerning figure. That's almost half. And Ireland is an outlier in the European Union, and it doesn't provide workers a statutory right to collective bargaining, and it lags behind other EU member states in respect of statutory annual leave. So these are two things that would be helpful in this motion brought forward tomorrow. And ICTU actually found that 52% of workers do not believe they're paid fairly for the work they do, and the figure is higher for women and people on lower incomes. So these are things that are coming across to us that need to be legislated for.
And when you bring that up, that stat about 52% of workers not being in a trade union but want to be, I assume that for some of them, is there obstacles there? It's not necessary. Is that what the research is getting at? That it's not just a case of they want to but haven't, but that there's actually obstacles in the way?
Yeah, it's 42% there. It's 52% they believe they're in unpaid or not being paid fairly. So 44% want to be in union, but they can't, and there is obstacles in the way. And this would would take those obstacles out of the way, where collective bargaining would be able to happen, and that unions would have access then into places of work.
And with that said, Donna, your bill also has a mention of bringing in a minimum living wage within the lifetime of this government. And look, while that may be a positive, a lot of commentators will look at that and say, in any place, if you increase the minimum wage, if you bring in a living wage, you're increasing the cost for the business owner, and they may be minded to reduce staff hours or to reduce their employee headcount altogether.
So in terms of that, a new study from the Economic and Social Research Institute, that's the ESRI, has found that recent increases to minimum wage did not lead to low paid workers losing their jobs. And it also, the research also found that young workers that age into the higher minimum wage band did not experience an increased likelihood of job losses following their birthday and the raise in their wages.